Hiles here, aka the Mindset Guy, with today's training video, which is all about how to release negative emotions. And the idea came from a comment on my YouTube channel. So it's from William, and it says, I would love for you to do a video on the negativity we have to face as we're cleaning our subconscious. It sometimes feels as though we're doing something wrong, as if it's a purge of negativity that has to happen to enable our manifestation to occur. I'd love for you to expand on this subject. Thanks. And as I read that, I realized that I actually haven't put a video together covering this topic. So the intent here is to get into this topic, and I'm going to do two videos on this. It's part one and part two, in an attempt to keep my videos a lot shorter rather than getting them longer and longer and longer. So let's jump in and use a model to help understand what's going on and why it happens, and then in part two, how to deal with it, because it's such an important part of being able to create the life or get the results that we want. So here we have an individual here, and there's three parts to this individual, as you can see. The top part, this part up here, represents the mind, and the mind, we have two parts to it. We have both a conscious and a subconscious. Now, keeping things simple, the conscious deals with the thoughts and the subconscious deals with the feeling. And sometimes the subconscious is called the mind-body-mind because the subconscious connects us to the body and we act from the body, we do from the body, right? So that's how we're all set up. Now, here we have someone that is achieving X reality. We'll call it X reality to keep it simple, okay? So how are they achieving that X reality? How are they getting that? Well, it all starts with X thoughts, right? Soon as this individual has a lot of X thoughts and thinks about X and dreams about X and plans for X as such, mentally that is, rehearses X in mind, the next stage is the subconscious then begins to feel X. So more of that X feeling, and as more of that X feeling happens, the next step is the individual then acts and attracts X, and eventually creates X reality for him or herself. So there's always alignment here. We're always creating the reality that we think about, and we then feel, and then we then do, and then we then have, right? So fairly straightforward and no rocket science there as such. But where does the problem arise? Well, the problem arises when we look across over here and someone over here has, let's call it Y reality. And we look across and we think, you know, I'd love that reality, more money or better health or fantastic relationship, or I'd love to be an entrepreneur and start my own business. You know, I look at someone like Branson, wow, it's amazing. So as a result of thinking, I would love Y reality, the moment we think we want a different reality, which I call more, better, or different reality, something interesting happens. We become dissatisfied with X reality. And we become quite excited about Y reality. So this is now a sort of like a smile, if you like. Yeah, I'd love to have that. And that's all well and good, right? And so we do some of the things that I talk about here. We set some goals, we set some intentions, you know, we set some aspirations, the more, better, or different, whatever that is, and we set about getting clear on that. So what happens now is that we begin to have Y thoughts. We begin to think Y, you know, because that's what's exciting to me. This is no longer exciting. So we start at the conscious level thinking Y. And if you imagine an arrow now goes down into the subconscious, but you see, this is the interesting part, because we start thinking Y, but from the subconscious down, we've got feel, act, and attract, and we got X reality. And this is where this interesting conflict begins to happen, because as we start having Y thoughts, Y reality doesn't happen immediately. It's not like, there it is, Y reality. There's this lag period. So we have like a Y consciousness, but we have an X reality. and now there's lag, and now there's a period of time, and this period of time is essential, where we are beginning to manifest, beginning to create reality Y. But what happens in this time generally is some of the more negative emotions begin to come up, begin to bubble up, and we begin to experience them. So we might begin to doubt ourselves, for instance. So doubt might come up. And, can I really do this? This is such a big thing. And, that sort of negative mindset comes in, that negative self-talk comes in. Or we can discourage ourselves with, you're never going to be able to achieve this. Come on, you might as well quit now. You might as well give up now, right? We've all had this negative self-talk, where we say, this is never going to work. I'm never going to be able to achieve this. So you can see this period where we begin to shift from here to here, where we begin to think before we influence the subconscious, the body, is really important, because what we do in this time either helps or hinders the achievement of the new reality that we want, the new result that we want. We can either speed things up or we can slow things down during this period. The way we deal with the uncomfortable feelings that come up, the way that we influence the subconscious mind is critical. So in the next video, what I want to talk about is what we have to do with the unresourceful emotions that come up, the negative emotions come up, what techniques to deal with those, because the quicker you deal with the negative emotions, the quicker you're able to then influence the subconscious mind with why thinking, which gets to why feeling, which gets to why act and attract. So there we are, quick video just to sort of set the stage for the next video, part 2. And please leave me a comment, let me know what you think. 1 didn't enjoy it, 10 really enjoyed it, or actually write a comment if you've got a bit of time. I love to hear from you. So this is Colin Hiles. I'll see you on part 2.